Well, if you can hear that, then you know that we're in the 6-liter Power Stroke. And if we're in the 6-liter Power Stroke, it doesn't mean good things for the Battle Wagon. I know this week's video is supposed to be the preliminary dyno before we put on the boost, and it was supposed to be the video where I told you what we were doing, either a turbo or a supercharger. I'm sorry to make you guys wait, but I really want to deliver that. I really want to tell you guys that when we get the dyno results for the beforehand dyno. Going over a bump here. Oh, bumpy! Drives like a diesel. But whenever we get the dyno results, I will go ahead and tell you what we're gonna do. I think I've got my mind made up, but I want to wait until it's on a good note and good things are happening to tell you about it. So for this video, I'm gonna tell you what happened to the Battle Wagon. It's not good. It's a Dodge, so if that's about the best clue I can give you is it's a Dodge. But it didn't make it to the dyno. We didn't even make it out of town. The truck was driving fine, but right as we got on the interstate, which I drive interstate every day, it just decided it was done. This part that broke, it was done. It was very done. Oh, it's my baby. It's been sitting here for about a week now. A little less than a week now. Oh, I missed you. Look at that booty, man. That's a good looking truck. Too bad it doesn't run. All right, well, let's explain what happened to the old truck. So, the engine is perfectly fine. The drive shafts, the axles, the brakes, perfectly fine. The transfer case, as far as I know, perfectly fine. The transmission, yeah, she quit on us. I was driving to the dyno. I have my buddy Lane with me, and we were just gonna head up there. Everything's been fine with the truck for a long time. I mean, haven't had any problems with it at all. Everything's been really working really well. And so, well, we're gonna go get the preliminary dyno. No big deal. Strap it on the dyno, get a pull. It should be fine. We're not making like crazy power where we're gonna break anything. Well, so what we do is we get on the interstate and we just barely get out of town, headed that way. We gotta go a little ways down out of town. And so what happens is, I'm just cruising on the interstate, and the thing decides it's gonna in and out of overdrive. I'm like, what's going on? We're just cruising on flat, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. So we pull off the side of the road. Something's not happy. I checked the old scan tool I have and checked line pressure, and it's just falling constantly, just losing line pressure, like something's not right. Well, skip ahead. The transmission is completely burnt up. It was at 260 degrees for 10 minutes or more trying to get it back here. And the reason I don't care about it that much is because I'd already planned on getting a built one that I order, not just build myself, but it's ordered in, built already. There it is. Transmission Depot, you guys, right there. You can go to their website, get their transmission, buy up their stuff. I am absolutely impressed with this company, you guys. Transmission Depot. Okay, here's why I'm impressed. This thing came in a week and a half. He told me it would probably be a week to a week and a half before it went out the door from them building it. They got it put together. They pressure checked everything, built it exactly how I wanted it built, and got it out the door and got it to me. And the shipping from them to me only took 3 days to get here. So I'm really impressed with this, you guys. I just want to tell you, Andrew, shout out to you at Transmission Depot. Big thumbs up, my friend. You're doing an amazing job over there. You answered every one of my questions very, very well. And I had a lot of questions and a lot of specific questions that only someone who truly knows what they're doing would be able to answer. And you were able to answer them 100% accuracy, 100% the way I wanted them to be answered. Everything in this transmission is exactly what I should have done from the very beginning, but now I've got a 2-year warranty with it. So let's get this thing open and let's talk about what the plans are for this transmission and what we're going to be doing with it. Man, look at that. So they painted it black. If you've ever seen these transmissions from the factory, they're just aluminum case and everything, nothing real fancy. But with this transmission, they painted it black and they did a really good job of it. And it just kind of goes to the quality and the attention to detail that they use. The sealing surfaces, the mating surfaces, they taped those off and they didn't paint over the sealing surface. Right in here on the snap ring groove, you can see the snap ring is this black piece right here. And they taped it off or something, and to where they didn't paint into the grooves. And so they did a really good job painting this. Like, the attention to detail on the paint alone is just, it inspires a lot of confidence in this transmission. Yeah, really good job. Really good job. I'm not sponsored by them. As a matter of fact, I paid them for this transmission, and I paid normal prices than anybody else would pay, but I'm just really impressed. So let's pop this puppy open. Got them good steel clamps. So this transmission has a 2-year unlimited miles warranty, and the only real conditions to that warranty are you cannot go into the transmission. I talked to them and I can put a deeper pan on it, that's fine, but I can't pull the valve body down and do anything inside of it. So if this thing ever has a problem, you just have to put it back and send it back to them. Then I have to have a new or R&R converter, which we talked about that I'm getting. And then I can also reuse my extension housing for the back to make it save me a little bit of money. But let's talk about what's in this transmission that makes it so special. Well, they've got 3 different RFE transmissions, or should I say, they have 3 different 545 RFE transmissions that you can get from them. One is basically a stock unit, but it's reman. They go through it, make sure everything is 100%, and anything that needs replaced, they will replace. And they do a really good job with having a stock unit. Then for people who may be towing or something like that, they have the stage 1. That's kind of the intermediate transmission between what we have and a stock one. So it's kind of somewhere in the middle for someone who's towing or something like that. Then what we have in front of us is the stage 2. So that's the highest one that they offer. So it's a real good transmission. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So starting from front to back, it's got a remanufactured front pump assembly, because you cannot get a lot of this stuff new anymore. But it's a remanufactured pump assembly, and what they do with that is they put a Sonex line booster kit in it. So that comes with a spring, and it also comes with this little fella right here, which is like a reprogramming kind of deal. It basically tricks the computer, and so if you do not have a tune, you're going to use that. And then if you don't like the way it shifts, you can always pull that off and it'll still drive like a stock one. But that little deal right there is what tricks the computer if you do not have a tune on it. If you have some kind of a tune on it, like a transmission tune that would be normally part of like an engine and transmission tune, then you're not going to use that. So we're not using it because we have custom tuning. Also in the pump, there is this Transgo shift kit. It's a HD2, the Transgo shift kit, and they put a lot of stuff that goes out of that into that pump. Really good unit. They make sure all of the surfaces are good, all the castings are good, the plate that's in the middle there is good, any kind of check balls or anything that would be in it is good. So they do a good job there. Also, part of the valve body is that Transgo HD2 shift kit, and they do a whole lot of stuff in there. Same situation, make sure the castings are good. If it needs the plates, the channel plates in there, then they replace those, and they do everything, make sure everything's good, clean, 100%. All of the check balls in there are good. The tombstone in there is good. If you know what that is, it's part of the valve body. They make sure all that stuff's good. And they also use new accumulator piston and sleeve. That's a Sonex accumulator piston and sleeve, and that just really helps with it's called slide shifts, and then high CVIs, which is clutch volume indexes, and then also the 1-2 shutter coast down clunk whenever it's you're shifting down there. It helps with that. So those accumulator sleeve pistons and sleeves, that's just good stuff to have in there. It's a lot stouter than the stock. Then also that valve body, not only is it got a shift kit in it, but it's the updated, most newest valve body you can get. It also has the newest solenoid pack, a brand new one, because you can still get those new. So a lot of good stuff in here, and that's not even the beginning of it. It's got, so any electronics that are inside of it are brand new. It has new bushings, new filter, and also there is the best part here, and this is what we didn't do in the last one. And the last time we built a transmission ourselves, we put some Raybestos clutches in it, basically just factory replacement clutches. This time we have the Power Pack clutches by Alto. So those are high performance Red Eagle Power Pack clutches. Basically, instead of it being clutches like your typical clutches, where it would be a clutch and then a steel and then a clutch and then a steel stacked that way, Alto clutches are a clutch steel, which basically what that means is you've got a steel made onto a clutch, or a clutch made onto a steel, however you want to word that. But basically what that does, it gives you more friction surface, and the friction material on these clutches is a lot better. But like I said, they go through the transmission to make sure everything's 100% good. So like the clearances, when they do this, they check all the clearances with dial indicators, make sure you've got a good tight transmission. Also, they use choline steels. So some of the clutches in there from Alto are regular clutches, but they use the choline steels with those. So you have clutch steels, and then you have clutches and steels in there on some of the different clutch packs. So really, really good stuff. And also there are like industry updates that came out throughout the generation of these transmissions, and those things are all included in this transmission. So basically we have a remanufactured transmission, but it is the newest, most updated, best factory transmission that you can buy right here. It is got all the updates, all of the stuff you can do to build a transmission is in this. Literally everything you can do to your stock transmission and build it is in this. Now, I want to talk to you guys about why we went with this versus something that would be a little bit more extravagant. So I went with this transmission because my tuner, after I told him that I had the transmission go out on me again, my tuner and I were talking about what to do now. And he's like, don't buy all that fancy stuff. Don't buy all them fancy transmissions that are supposed to be rated for whatever. He said, buy a stock transmission and just put it in there. I was like, man, you know what I'm about to do? We're talking about putting boost on this thing. It's going to be making quite a bit more power. And he said, no, put a stock one. I was like, oh, okay. So I asked him, I said, what do you mean by stock? He said, well, stock specifications, stock clearances, stock tolerances, because what will happen is whenever your transmission computer starts to learn, it's called adaptives. When they learn those new adaptives in the computer, it will end up eating those modified transmissions. So what I mean by modified is they mill the case, or they change something about the actual design of it, and the specifications are different. And that's not what we're doing with this. This is a stock transmission. It's just been built with better materials. The specifications and the clearances and the tolerances are all going to be the same, but it's just better materials, just better stuff in there. There's better materials. They're going to hold more friction, and they're going to be able to hold more power. And there's also better springs in there that are going to be able to supply more pressure. But the thing with those is that those things aren't making it have more pressure. They're making the transmission capable of more pressure, because all of this is still electronically controlled. So all of those things can still we can drive this with a stock computer and not have this little deal that I already pulled out in there, and it will drive just like a stock transmission. It'll just be a lot better, and it'll be just a better transmission. But with tuning, you can go the extra mile and add the line pressure in. So it's capable of more, but it is still a stock specification transmission. So it won't eat itself alive. It'll be much better, and hopefully it'll hold up when we add this boost we're about to add. So you guys, what I'm gonna do, this video's getting kind of long, so I'm gonna take this fella, I'm gonna put it away for a while, and we're gonna get the transmission out of the truck. I'm going to pull it out, get the converter sent off so we can get R&R'd, and then we're gonna take the tail housing, put it back on here, and then after we do that, I'm gonna paint it. And because apparently that's good luck. I painted the engine and it's been fine. So anyways, we're gonna get that done. It's gonna be the next video. I don't know when I'm gonna get that out to you guys. My transmission blew up, so cut me a little slack. And then when we're done with this transmission deal, we'll get right back in to what we're doing, because I already decided what I want and I already ordered it. So in the next couple videos, we'll talk about it, and hopefully we'll still get that dyno video. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. It would really help the channel. Leave a like. If you have a question about this transmission, leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next one.